Buddy, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the bell and follow us. There's a lot of really good things, great stuff coming your way. I want to talk about a really important component of creating and succeeding in practice, and it's called flow state. And here's why it's important. When I am in a place where I wake up at 3:33 every morning and I have new ideas for creation, and no matter how hard life is pulling me, there's still new ideas and new inspiration. That's flow state. Flow state is when I am connected to the part of me, the part of my brain, the part of my spirit that wants to do more and do better in the world. And what I found, I'm still a novice with flow state. I'm still learning about how to maintain flow state, how to find flow state if I've lost it. And here are the things I know to be true about being in a state of flow. I know that part of staying in flow or realizing flow is doing the things that take work. It's doing the things that I wake up in the morning and I go move my body and I go get strong, right? It's doing that. Whether or not I feel like doing it, it's doing that. It's organizing myself, organizing my thoughts before my day starts. It's not overeating, not overindulging. If I go away from any of those things, and those are what we call anchors and rituals, if I move away from my anchors and rituals that work for me at this time in my life, I disconnect from flow. And I think that if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. You know what there's nothing worse than being disconnected from flow and knowing that you've got to get stuff done, right? Because there's nothing that you can do about it. When you're disconnected, you're disconnected. However, let me retract that statement. There is something that you can do about it. I have to figure out, what is it going to take for me to tap back in? What is it going to take for me to be inspired to do more, serve more, be more, have more, experience more, connect more? If it's all about me, if I'm on this Jody wheel and it's about Jody and Jody this and what I didn't get and what I didn't earn and what I do deserve and me, I'm not in flow state. When I'm in flow state, I hear my languaging is different. I smile more. I breathe more. And here was my first experience, you guys. So I want to share a moment in time with you. Oh, by the way, here's my by the way for the day. On Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing an invite-only training. If you want to be part of the invite-only training on how to save time and practice getting away from stuff that just doesn't work, go ahead and drop a me wherever you're watching this, and we'll make sure that you get the link for the free training. When the pandemic started and the world kind of shut down overnight, it was the first time I had a natural break in the routine of being a busy practice owner. And it was like everything just went on pause, and there was this space for ideas to come forward. And that's when I started waking up at 3:33 in the morning. That's when I started dreaming really clearly about the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. I don't think it's because of the pause that connection started. I think it's because I had time for self-care. I had time to make my daily walk a priority. I had time to connect with an accountability buddy. I had time to, we weren't going to the gym at that time, but we were actually working out in my garage, and my dear friend Kariana would have these Zoom classes for CrossFitters, and I had time to make that the center of my morning every day. And because I had all of this space and time, I had this creative flow that I stepped into, and I have not stepped out of it yet, knock wood. There had been days where I'm like, I just feel like I'm pulling teeth to get this to flow, and I've learned now with this flow dance to step away and give it space. So then I go back to you and I ask the question, first of all, when was the last time you were in flow state? Second of all, if you've never experienced flow state, you know that you're in it when you do work at your desk or wherever the work happens, wherever the creative experience happens, and you look up at the clock and it's an hour later and you can't wait to get back to it. You have to go get the kids or do the laundry or do whatever the thing is, but you can't wait to get back to it. That's flow state. And my question to you then is, when is the last time you've hit that state? Do you have that in your world right now? If you do not have that in your world, and here are the hard questions, you guys. If you don't have that in your world right now, what needs to happen? What needs to be said? What needs to be done for you to realize it and reconnect with it or connect with it for the first time? Because once you're tapped into flow state, all possibilities open up. Anything that comes from your heart and your brain during flow state is innately driven. And that's the shit that makes the world go around. Excuse my language. That's what makes the world go around. So what do you need to do to get tapped in right now? It's important, because I promise you there are people waiting for you to be tapped in. Whether it's the last person you ever thought or the person standing right next to you. They're waiting for you to be tapped in. Everybody has a different talent to bring to the table. And if your talents are suffocating right now because there's not enough space for them to move forward, you guys think about this too with your team. If you have right now, as I'm sharing with you, I have a team of 10 amazing people who are all over the world. And if they are not able to be in their lane of genius, in a state of flow, when they're contributing to my team, as the team facilitator, it's my work to create that space for them, to coach them to realizing a new experience of being in flow state. If you ever watched, and I gave this as an example last week when we were doing our first masterclass for marketing. If you ever watch a 3, 4, 5-year-old, especially Montessori Waldorf kids, if you watch them play with like a wooden toy, nothing could distract them from that experience. They are in flow state. You could be whistling, you could be playing AC/DC in the background, you could be doing all of it. And they are still connected to what is on their mind. They are in flow state. Somewhere, and I've been taught that usually around the age of 7, our ego forms. And that's when we become self-conscious. And it's when we're like, who's watching? What am I doing? I need to hold my breath. I need to create these patterns of tension in my physiology, in the world around me, right? That's what happens around age 7. But usually, and I think it's actually happening earlier now because of all the pressure on kids with all of the screens and all of the things coming at them. I think my favorite piece of advice in finding flow state is to make sure that you've got 3 days off a week. 3 days completely unplugged, completely away from what you do in this world to bring income into the door. 3 days off. And watch when that space happens, watch what comes through. Walk around with a pen and a pad of paper. Walk around with a note on your phone that's just for flow state, ideas that are coming through. And then have designated time that you spend focused on serving flow state. I love that idea. I love it for myself. I don't do it. I don't take 3 days off a week because I'm constantly in flow state. I can't stop. And I think that that's a good thing right now. I'm really enjoying it. And here's the thing, like if I talk about my flow state and I talk about my work and you guys see this on my face, you see me smiling, then I know that it's a good thing. I know that my heart is being served and my world is being served, and that, you know, this might sound a little bit out there, but I feel like I'm serving my purpose on the planet if I'm in flow state. So are you in flow state? When was the last time you were there? Have you ever been there before? And what do you need to get there? Again, I dropped a link in this heart share to learn more, to lean in a little bit in my world. And we are doing a free training at the time that this is being recorded on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want in, just raise your hand and let me know, and we'll make sure you get the link. I'm loving you guys from here. Go make the world better with great care.